and it was 3 matches before the Netflix came on. And man, I'm telling you, I'll find the name, but it's incredible.
Okay, we're going live. We're now live. Good evening and welcome to another edition of Fightnwords News Network. Fightnwords is brought to you each and every night of the week in grateful appreciation to the men and women of the United States Armed Forces, men and women police and fire services, the doctors and nurses, first responders who take care of us during the, and especially those people who fill the shelves in the supermarket to keep our stomachs full during the pandemics. Tonight's program is dedicated to, we dedicate every program to the men and women of the United States Armed Forces. But tonight, especially, this is the month is dedicated to members of the armed forces, and we wanted to dedicate this program to them. The other one we want to dedicate to is the veterans. You serve us a short time, but you're a veteran for life. We thank you for your service. We couldn't do it without you. We really appreciate everything you've done. To the Gold Star mothers and fathers who lost someone in the battle, we dedicate each program to you too. Well, guys, it was a big night last night. Tony, want to start off with the fight you were just talking about?
Yeah, I think it was the pay-per-view fight before the Netflix kicked on, and they had a couple preliminary fights, and I think there were 3 of them. I think it was the second one. A Brazilian, I think his name was Ramos, something like that, was fighting. It was the most incredible UFC fight I've ever watched. I'm not big, or I haven't been big on UFC over the years, but after last night, I'll probably be really watching it heavy now. I mean, that was amazing. But first round went to one guy, second round went to the other, third round, it could have gone either way. And then at the very last 7-8 seconds, the Brazilian gets the guy in a chokehold, out cold, but it was to determine whether or not he was out cold when the bell was dinging. And it was literally a fraction of a second to the point they had to go back and review it for like 10 minutes to see if he was out and unconscious at the bell or it was going to go to the decision, which could have gone either way.
Good. Caden?
It was crazy.
Caden.
I didn't watch just those 3 fights before the Netflix card, but right now, are we talking about the entire Netflix card?
The who? I'm sorry.
Are we talking about the Netflix card last night?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I didn't watch those 3 matches that Tony was talking about. I was at work, but for the last, I think it was 3 or 4 fights of the main card, it was I forget the dude's name. Saladin Perniz versus someone cross. I forget his name, but Saladin Perniz is a name to remember, man. He's 28 years old. He moves great, man. His takedowns are fluent. His striking is sharp, and maybe he's not the most powerful guy for that weight division, but if you move that fast and you can actually function on the ground, man, I think that's an exciting prospect, especially only at 28 years old. He's got years to go in the game. Get that guy in the UFC, man. He looks sharp. But for the rest of the card, it was all guys that we knew. You had Francis Ngannou go in there, and that's what he did what he does best. A little one-two combo, knocked him out cold. Pretty much with one punch. That uppercut was just, insult to injury at that point. But man, it wasn't anything that we weren't expecting. You see Francis Ngannou going in there. He's 260 pounds, and he's like less than 10% body fat. How are you gonna beat that dude? He's running at you like a raging bull. You just can't beat him. And I'll give the guy this. I forget his name off the top of my head. That he was the guy that he was fighting.
Vin, V-I-N-N.
Well, at dictating that Nick Bronx,
Yeah.
And for him to at least gain a little bit of control in the clinches, I'll give him that. Against world champion Francis Ngannou, I'll give him that. But man, I think there was no stopping Ngannou last night. And man, that Nate Diaz fight was a joke. You don't even need to talk about that. It was Nate Diaz. He looked like he was smoking dope before the fight. He had no stamina at all. You know, he goes out there, throws 4 punches, and now he's gassed. He has nothing left in him.
Yeah, Mike Perry. He made Mike Perry look very good.
Mike Perry looks sharp, man. But then again, like, look at who's against. You know, I always loved Nate Diaz, but that wasn't Nate Diaz last night. That was just someone going out there trying to get a paycheck. You know, he didn't even care about the fight. You can tell. And that last fight, Ronda Rousey versus Gina Carano, man, that was textbook Ronda Rousey. Go out there, get her down. The arm bar is just it's a 100% probability with Ronda Rousey. She can get you on the ground. That arm bar's coming, and the chances you getting out of it are almost 0%. So once the takedown was in the first 5 seconds of the fight, I knew it was over.
Yeah, it was only 17 seconds that lasted the fight, and once she got her down,
the way Ronda moved on the ground is so aggressive. She pulled guard and got side control like in a blink of an eye. You know, you wouldn't even I'm seeing her get the spear tackle, and then she's pulling guard and getting side control, and I'm like, I just took a sip. You know what I mean? I just looked up. I just looked at my phone, and now the fight's over. Amazing display by Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, you were talking about Frankie Ngannou. I think he's going to get a new nickname, Fast Frankie Ngannou, because Lynn didn't know what the hell hit him once he got in that ring.
I know, man. Frank just looked good. Frank looked good.
Tony, what do you think about Usyk and Verhoeven?
Did it get signed? I didn't think that one was signed.
Yeah, it's been signed.
Oh boy. I don't think Usyk's going to have a problem with it. I mean, I was hoping it was going to be someone a little bit better than that, personally. I think Usyk, there's a couple other fighters that he should go up against before that guy, but we'll see.
Okay.
I think he's good enough for somebody.
Okay. Caden, what do you think about Ryan Spawn and Marcus Almeida getting KO'd?
I didn't watch that one, but was that last night?
That was last weekend.
It was, it was last weekend?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember that one. I was going to say, because if it was last night, I don't think anybody was watching UFC last night.
Oh, no. Spawn got him within, again, it was didn't get to the third round. He got him knocked him out in the second round, first 30 seconds of the second round.
You said his name is Ryan Spann?
Who's that? Ryan Spawn, Spawn.
No, I don't even. Yeah, I never heard of him.
Yeah, he was a prelim.
Okay.
All right.
Maybe you got to look up the name. Maybe he's up and coming. I'll
yeah.
look him up.
Yeah.
Is that Zuffa? Is that what that Netflix did last night, or is Zuffa something completely different?
Zuffa was a fighting organization, and they would put together like the Cage Warrior fights, and then when UFC, I think it was like 2010, UFC bought Zuffa, and then they bought Cage Warriors. So now Zuffa's kind of like almost just like a governing body now of fighting.
Okay, all right.
That's Eddie Hearn, right?
I've always bashed Jake Paul, but I tell you, he did a fantastic job with the way he put things together last night.
I like it. Yeah, I was talking about Brady. I was talking about this with Brady off mic last night. We were talking about Jake Paul and these Netflix cards. Maybe they're not like the craziest of like competition wise, but last night was the best cards they produced. But going back towards all the Netflix cards that I can remember, I think there's only been 3 or 4. they've all been like really fun. You know what I mean? Like very entertaining. He puts together very entertaining fights.
Mm-hmm.
So I give him that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Tony, Big Baby Miller, Impero. What do you think?
Let me get back to that just real quick. I got somebody here. 1 second. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right. Caden, what do you think of Gilbert Burns returning?
You know, I don't like it for him. I really like Gilbert Burns. I think he went out kind of sad. You know, I always remember him for his fight against Hamzat Chimaev. I think it was Hamzat's fourth or fifth fight in the UFC, and it was against Gilbert Burns. And man, that was one hell of a fight. One of the best fights I've seen to this day was that fight. And he's had some other complete bangers too. You know, just absolute slugfest against Robert Whittaker and the likes of Marvin Vettori and Paulo Costa. And he's gotten battered, man. And like I said, he kind of went out sad. So, you know, I would like to see him fight again. But, man, I would hate to see him lose again. So, again, I still think he needs to do it also. Like, people, when they hear the name Gilbert Burns, he's a respected name. And maybe he's not a legend, but he's definitely a respected name. So I think for that sake, he doesn't need to come back. But if it's, you know, what he wants to do, it's what he wants to do. So I guess I have no choice but to be excited for it, right?
Yeah. Well, now that he's coming back, what's his outlook? Who do you think he's going to go after first?
I think a fighter like that is complicated, you know, because he's not like a Conor McGregor, which we can talk about later. I don't know if you guys saw that Conor McGregor versus Max Holloway got confirmed. So we can talk about that later. But he's not a Conor McGregor. He's not a Henry Cejudo. But he is a respected name, like I said. And he is coming back from retirement, and he did go out sad. I don't think he's going to go out here and get some sort of big shot. Because, you know, it's not – it's just – that would be horrible. You know, you just go out there and get demolished, really. So as for who would fight, I couldn't give you a name because I would guess it'd probably be some up-and-coming guy. That's usually what they try and do.
Okay. Let's touch on that Conor McGregor and Holloway fight that is coming up. Let's go over there just to.
You know, Brady told me about that. He told me about that this afternoon. I guess it got announced this morning. I haven't really been on my phone much all day. So when he told me, I got to be honest, I thought that he got like clickbaited. You know, I thought it was a complete lie. I was like, no way Conor McGregor versus Max Holloway is happening. It makes no sense. And lo and behold, it's true. And Dana White announced it, the UFC announced it, and that whole card is pretty crazy. Corey Sandhagen's fighting on it. There are some other good fights on that card. But the big one is obviously Conor McGregor coming back after 5 years. And you know, you might look at them and think, you know, Conor McGregor, Max Holloway, similar age, maybe the attrition for Conor, we can't say that. Yes, you can. You 100% can. And the attrition and everything that's happened in the past 5 years is why Conor McGregor is not going to win this fight. You know, in the last 5 years, Conor McGregor's been on the couch doing drugs, going to parties, and getting sexual allegations against him. That's what he's been doing the past 5 years.
Again?
Oh, yeah. So if you look at Max Holloway, what's Max Holloway been doing for the past years? He's been in constant back-to-back championship fights for the past 5 years straight. Tell me who you think is going to win. I looked at the spread, and the spread only had Max Holloway at like minus 500. Max Holloway should be minus 3,000, man. They should have never given Max Holloway. If Conor McGregor, he's got the puncher's chance. He's powerful. You know, he's damn near probably the most powerful lightweight that's ever fought in the UFC. But man, the skill difference is apparent, man. And you take it back to Conor McGregor, and the funny thing about these guys, you know, people don't know this. Conor McGregor's first ever fight in the UFC was against Max Holloway.
Wow.
It's pretty crazy. And that's before both of them were anything. Both of them weren't champions or anything like that. And Max Holloway got his ass beat, because that was when Conor McGregor was top dog. So this is completely different, man. The name doesn't translate. You know what I mean? It doesn't always translate. 10 years ago, this is a different story. But right now, Holloway, his game has just elevated far beyond Conor McGregor's in the past 5 years. So I think for that reason, not only is this fight is completely whack, but you got to give it to Holloway.
Okay. All right, Tony. Big Baby Miller and Lenore Pereira.
Baby Miller, he looked good this last time he fought. I don't know about
Piro.
Is that another one that's been signed now?
Yeah, he's going after Piro, Pero.
That's kind of quick, but I think he was trying to get in a few other fights here before a big one that was going to be announced. I mean, I don't know about Piro. I don't know a lot about him, but from what the little bit I do know, I don't think David Miller's going to have a problem with him. Not the way he's been working.
Okay, let's come back to you. Jaime Mongoya is coming back against Resendez. Yeah.
I've always said in the past, I've never really been a Munguia fan. I always thought from the very beginning he was the knuckle dragger, but this last fight he had, he sharpened his stuff up pretty good. And Resendez is a good fighter, but I don't think there'll be any stopping Munguia at this point. I mean, if he fights like he did this last one, he won't have any trouble with Resendez.
Okay. Okay, Brady Caden. Salkine smoked Darius the other night. What'd you think of it?
Can you run those names back one more time?
Quillen Salkine, Salkind, smoked Darius.
I've never heard those names. I'm sorry.
You hear that, Tony? He admitted that he didn't prepare for tonight's show.
The special load just got delivered. That's what I was at the door.
There you go. Oh, Caden. Oh, Caden. I can't believe it.
I'll take a pay cut only if you increase Tony's pay, huh?
Well, I agree.
Well, yeah, but Tony's also the baker, so he's making double anyway. He's like Kurt Hoffman. You get you do one job and you pay for two.
Oh,
yeah.
Damn.
Oh well. Okay, Caden. Tom Aspinall says that he's going to take the winner of the Pereira and Gain fight. What's your thoughts?
As you should, as you should. And the more this fight comes, gets closer together between Pereira and Gane, the more I think Pereira has a chance. I don't know why, but there's just this growing feeling in me that Pereira is just going to go out there and it's going to be a slugfest, and Pereira's going to outbox Cyril Gane. I think that happens 7 times out of 10, not 9 times out of 10. I think it happens most of the time that Pereira will outbox Gane, especially because we've never seen a Pereira this big. He's completely comfortable. Like, this is his walk-around weight. He is aggressive, powerful, ready to go at heavyweight. And I thought that he would look, maybe a little tiny at heavyweight because, you're looking at a dude who fought at middleweight. But, man, he is like, they say he's 6'4". I don't believe it. He's got to be like 6'5", something. Because they say Gane's also registered at 6'4", and Pereira's taller than him. It's crazy. Pereira's a massive guy. But I do think that the strength will definitely play a factor in this. And I believe off the top of my head that Gane is the heavier man. And I know for a fact that Gana's the stronger man. If he can get some good clinch work in there, I mean, that is not where Pereira wants to be. He does not want to be close with Don. He wants to keep going. He wants to keep Don puncher's range and just stay in front of him at all times. You know, and I bet he's going to be throwing a lot more kicks in this fight because you're going up to heavyweight. That's the heavyweight. They're never getting those kicks. They're never getting those kick looks. And people underestimate how good of a kickboxer Alex Pereira really is. They forget that this dude was a champion over in China, multiple time champion, one championship champion, Pride champion. He's got a more stacked career outside of the UFC than he does inside the UFC. And I think that skill of kickboxing is so out of touch in the UFC heavyweight division that that'll be a real shock and real advantage for Pereira in that fight. I still am going to lean towards Don winning this fight just because of, again, I think he can get him in more places that Pereira is uncomfortable with than Pereira can get Don into places that Don's uncomfortable with. We've seen Don strike. He's not bad. When Don was going to fight Francis Ngannou, I think it was like 3 years ago, on the show, I swore that Don was going to go out there and outbox Francis Ngannou and go out there and become the champion and beat Francis. Nobody believed in me, and y'all were right because he went out there and got his ass beat by Francis Ngannou. Completely outboxed, completely out-wrestled. He got demolished, right? But since then, he's gotten a lot better. And what we saw against Aspinall was amazing. He looked great against Aspinall, very sharp. And if he brings that his A game against Ngannou, man, against Pereira, that's a dangerous fight for Pereira, man. We saw how he looked in that Ankalaev fight. He looked slow, But then again, I do think I'm on the fence with this fight, man. But my heart's telling me Gon, so I'll go with Gon.
Okay. Tony.
What do you think about? Just got a quick question for Caden. At the end of that Perry fight, they said that he was going to take on Jake Paul, or Jake Paul wanted to fight him, or so forth.
He called out Jake Paul.
Bad move. Yeah, I guess Jake Paul wanted a piece of him and said they're going to do that and sign it.
Yeah, I think that could definitely happen. I think they already fought. Jake Paul already fought both of those dudes. He fought Mike Perry. He fought Jake Paul. I mean, he fought Diaz. He beat up both of them. And if they were to fight again, I just think that it would be. I don't think that's the most logical thing for Jake Paul to do because I think he can turn around and fight 10 other dudes that are going to make him way more money. Whether it's a fake fight or a real fight, there are plenty of more names. There are plenty of better names that want to fight Jake Paul that are worth a lot more money than Mike Perry.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Tony. Jorge Chavez Jr. versus Jose Sanchez.
I don't know either one of them that well, but I know Sanchez better. Sanchez is a good fighter. I don't know. I don't know the first one. I've just never kept up. I've never really heard much about him.
Okay. Let's go to Earl Spence and Tim Tszyu then.
Oh, if Errol Spence is working out and doing what he's supposed to be doing, it's going to be an easy match for him. But Tim Tszyu has just lost every bit of chance of, I think, beating anyone at this point. I mean, he's the nicest guy in the world. I don't know. He's just had too many beatings in his brain. It's kind of shifted a little bit or something. I don't know. Errol Spence should not lose that fight. I don't see how he could, except if he's not training properly. The word is he is. So if he's doing what he's supposed to be doing, what they're saying he's doing, it's going to be an easy fight.
Okay. Hey, Caden, there seems to be some kind of a dissertation between Chimaev and Strickland. Really a war of words going back and forth. Is that just to build an audience, or is that something that's down deep?
I've been waiting for this. for 2 weeks. 2 weeks I've been waiting to talk about this fight on this show. So for the last years, all the years I've been on this show, I've been talking about Hamzat Chimaev and how he was going to be champion, be the best. He became champion. He became the best. Last night, oh my God, I'm talking about it like the fight was last night. That's how mad I am still. Last weekend was an absolute robbery. An absolute robbery, man. That was atrocious. I'll give Sean this. That second round, he came out fire. He looked great. And I really thought that for a second when he had Hamza on the ground and had top control on Hamza Chimaev, I'm like, this fight is over. Like, everything I said about this dude is out the window. Like, what is going on? And then I thought Hamza rallied back so well. He collected himself after that third round, going into the championship round. He won 4 and 5. I'll come fight somebody bare knuckle about it if they disagree with me. I don't care who it is. Man, that's a complete rob. That's what I got to say on that, man. They robbed Hamza. They took his belt away. Very close fight. Hats off to Sean Strickland still, though, because no one thought that fight would even be close.
Mm-hmm.
They thought it would be way worse, including me. I thought it would be way worse than the Dreykus fight. I thought he was going to go out there, take Sean down, bring him into deep waters, and the fight would be over. But that's not what happened, man. Sean fought a great fight, but I'd be damned if I say that he won that fight.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Now, I forgot your original question. What was it?
They were having a war of words. Strickland and Chimaev were having.
It was crazy. Before that fight, the animosity was at like a all-time high. It was similar to that Khabib-Conor-esque rivalry where they're just at each other's throats. I mean, like Sean Strickland was calling him a terrorist and all this other crazy stuff. And then in the fight, these dudes are shaking hands, hugging each other. They made up after the fight. It's like this is all a game, man. This is just to make us more entertaining. I don't believe that stuff for a second, man. I think it's all just an act.
Okay. Tony Wardley and Dubois.
Man, what a fight that was. That was close to fight of the year. I think they're going to do another one, I believe. But anybody that said that Dubois didn't have a chance are crazy. I mean, that boy's on fire, man. He's been coming up the ranks here quick, and he's had a couple of hiccups. But I think I told you, I said, it could go either way. And we were both kind of leaning that Wardley might have a good experience. But if Dubois gets you in the right spot, you're done. And that's what happened.
Yeah. Just so everybody will know, Z is working tonight. He can't be on. He may come on a little later on, but he's doing some sparring tonight and teaching. And the member of our cast that is not on tonight is Brady Quinn. And the reason for Brady had operation on his leg this Thursday and is laid up. So we send our very best out to Brady because he is a NZ. But Brady, since he's down, has been an integral part of the program for a while now. So good luck, Brady. I know you're on the mend, and we appreciate everything you do for the show. All right, let's go to Gaultier and Plager, Caden.
Gaultier and Plager?
Yeah.
Man, I gotta be honest. I don't know that one either, man. I'm laughing over here today.
Oh wow,
I bet most of these were fights from the UFC card last night as well.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody was watching that one, man. The Netflix drew all the eyes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Tony, did we do Wardley and Dubois? Yeah, that's right. Okay. Alexander Usyk has a fight coming with Ajit Cabello.
think we touched that one, I believe, but Usyk is. I mean, that to me is a tune-up fight. I think he would agree with that. There's just other names out there for Usyk right now. If he's getting older, he needs to start taking on some of these other ones that that we need to get ramped up with some of these other people here and lay off the tune-up fights, because that one I don't think he'll have a problem with that at all. But
You think that he would fight the winner of Fury versus Joshua?
I think he would. And I'd love to see that. I'd love to see that fight either way. It doesn't matter either one. Oh, I think I'd like to see go against Joshua more, but I would pay to see either one of those two fight. That'd be great. And that's one of the ones I think we're all waiting for, is that one and some of the other ones. Thank you, Alexa. Appreciate that. Sorry about that. She's reminding me to take out my trash. But yeah, it's Usyk's got to stay in shape. And not that he's out of shape, but just he's getting older. So he's got to keep going. Don't stop. That's the worst thing you could do. So as long as he keeps keeping up these tuning fights until he gets the big ones, he's going to keep dominating until it's time to pull the plug.
Okay. Hey, Tony, let me ask you something. Not too long ago, Joseph Parker and Joshua came up at the same time. Joshua's taken off. What happened to Parker?
That's a good question. He disappeared.
Yeah.
I don't know. Nobody's seen or heard much of him, and I swear I thought I heard through the grapevine that he was going to retire, but I just don't see that quite yet. But that was the last I heard.
Mm-hmm. You think got anything on it?
Disappeared.
Can you got anything on that?
So what was that?
Joseph Parker and Joshua came up at the same time. That Joshua was taken off, and Parker seems to be lost somewhere.
I don't. I've heard the name Joseph Parker, but I'm not too familiar.
Okay.
I can't say too much on that.
Okay.
He doesn't want any part of Anthony Joshua. I can tell you that.
Oh yeah, no. And just so everybody will know, I am older than Tony, but I do have my thing written down here. And yes, we did talk about Usyk in the very first one, but it was a different fighter. So therefore, Tony, you have a sandwich coming.
I forgot my prevention this morning. I'm sorry.
All right. Caden, what do you think? They're saying Carlos Paredes is that's in the top 5 UFC fighters. Is that true or it's false?
It's false. Top 5 welterweight, I'll give him that. And I was one of the guys betting against him when he fought JDM. I believe that was 2 weekends ago now.
Yeah.
Man, that was one hell of a performance, man. You never see a guy go out there and outbox Jack Della Madonna in that weight class, but man, he did.
Mm-hmm.
And Carlos Fontes went out there and he showed JDM what Muay Thai was, man. He was mixing it up. The kicks were great. And that's one thing I wish Carlos Fontes always involved more in his game, because he has great kicks, man. He can throw them from almost any angle off the back foot. That's one thing that's very rare. You don't see that in MMA, period, is the guy who's able to throw a solid kick off the back foot. But Carlos Fontes is one of those guys. And the reason why I exclamate that exact kick is because he hit him 3 times in one fight with that roundhouse, the back foot roundhouse. Man, it was great. And it's something that you really haven't seen Jack have to put up with. He's been fighting. As a boxer, you think it'd be a lot, be very unfavorable for him to go out there and fight the wrestlers and other boxers, but he outboxes everybody. And against the wrestlers, he has some of the best takedown defense in the UFC. And his punch work is great. How do you beat this guy? Man, the shots from the outside is where it's at. And Carlos Fontes, man, he was hitting them from all angles. And it was a shock. It was a shock for me. I didn't think Carlos Prates would go out there and look that sharp. So top 5 in the UFC, I think not. Top 5 in welterweight, without a doubt.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Tony, here's a good one for you. Inoue and Rodriguez.
Inoue will take that in a heartbeat. That will be an easy fight. I don't think Rodriguez stands a chance.
Okay.
There's no beating Inoue right now. He's no one's going to touch him, especially after the Nagasaki fight or whatever his name is. That guy was probably going to give him one of the best rounds of fighting, and you see what happened in that fight. So he's Inoue's not going anywhere right now.
Okay.
Not in a bad way.
Okay. All right, Caden, here's a question for you. We got pretty sure soon we're going to have the White House fight. One, I don't know how in the hell they're going to put 4,500 seat stands in there. I guess on the lawn. To me, that seems like a major security problem. Given the take that they've already tried to take out Trump a couple times, but Sorokin is now back on that White House card. Who do you think will be his opponent? Take the mute off, Caden.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was talking there for a little bit too. I'm surprised to see that Sorokin's back on that card. And one of the things that I'm also surprised about is that seems like, that seems like a good fight for Conor McGregor. That seems like actually doesn't, because Sorokin's still a lot better. But it seems like a much better opportunity for Conor McGregor to come back and fight Arman Sorokin. Especially, put that on the White House card. That would be cool. So I think they missed a major opportunity with that. But man, so I think he could have another fight with Charles. Man, I think that would be a good one. Charles Oliveira. They already fought before, and Sorokin, man, he put on a hell of a performance against Oliveira before. That's a hard one to clock because he's in such a weird situation with the UFC and he hasn't fought in a year. So it's like, does he get another big name or does he not? It's also a guy that deserves a good name, but he is who he is. So I don't think so. I think that's a hard one to think about who's going to get who's the next fighters.
Okay, reach in your book bag that you never took to school and tell me who you think it would be.
I think it would be Charles Oliveira. That's the name glaring at me right now off the top of my head. I think if I had the roster in front of me right now, I could probably pick out a better fight. But Charles Oliveira makes sense. Okay.
Hey, Tony, we've got a vintage Canelo out there, and he's going to take on Christian Mabili.
That's going to be a good fight. I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to be the first to say here. I think Billy will beat him. Okay. Canelo's going down, but in Billy, I don't know if you know too much about him. He's a bad dude. He's bad. He's coming up quick, and that boy can hit hard. And he can move. So Canelo can move too, but he better be better. If he thinks it's going to be an easy fight, it's going to be easy money. He's crazy. So expect Canelo to get dropped because that's what I think is going to happen.
You got anything on that, Caden?
I don't. I think I've seen Billy guys fight before though. He was a co-main, or he was on the prelims of some big boxing event in the recent past. I think Tony, you probably know what it is. Whatever his last fight was, I remember watching it in Billy. I remember being thoroughly impressed. But given that I don't know much, and I know a hell of a lot more about Canelo, I'm gonna have to stick with my guy Canelo.
Okay.
Yeah. Canelo is just the thing is going down. He's just, I think he's starting to realize now he's the, not the has-been, but he knows that retirement ain't going to be a bad thing right now for him. He's made all the money. I think he's got a $200 million fight coming up. I think is what I heard with somebody. I don't think it was the Billy fight, but it may have been talked about something else. But I think he's going to be going out here probably the next year or so.
Okay. Brady, make sure that you get enough dough for 2 pies. I think we got 2 pies going this week.
Ooh, man, I'm sorry about that, Gabe.
That was for Brady.
Oh, okay.
He's laying in the room there.
I got a question for you both too. And I'm not real familiar with this guy until last night when I saw him. But this Robella Spain,
Right.
Is he been around for a while?
He hasn't. But he was an exciting prospect. But 2 years ago, this dude, Robella Spagne, he's like 7 foot tall, 6'10", something like that. I think he's like 6 foot something with his. I think either his height is 7 foot tall or his wingspan is 7 foot wide. I forget which one it is. But I remember he came into the UFC and he has the longest reach in UFC history. And he's a big Cuban guy, big old Cuban dude, and he was known for just knocking dudes out in seconds, right? Then he comes into the UFC. He has his first fight, he gets a knockout in the first round. And I remember being super excited to watch the dude. And then his second fight in the UFC, they give him a lot, someone probably too good for his development. And he kind of got his ass beat. But, I think his limit is going out there and being excited. Not like going out there and winning a UFC title. But, man, there's raw talent in that guy. If you can access that raw talent, you're looking at a dude with the longest reach in UFC history, and he's like 6'10". Like this dude's a freak of nature. If you can make him better, he can be something. But right now, I think he's just like unpolished.
Yeah, Junior Dos Santos' jaw still swollen from last night. He got tore up.
I'm glad I tuned into the fight after that, because when Junior Dos Santos was in the UFC, he was one of my favorites. And, he is an absolute legend. And I hate to see it go out that way, because I just imagine the knockout in my head. I've seen so many Romero Spagne knockouts. I can just imagine how vicious it was. I don't even want to look it up.
Yeah, this guy was out of Orlando, too. I didn't know that. They built him out of Orlando. So there's something going on in the Orlando area, because that was the second one of the night that was from that area.
I think Mike Perry was also fighting out of Orlando.
Yeah, Mike Perry fought at Notre Dame also. He's a Notre Dame graduate.
He wrestled for Notre Dame?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. But Tony, to get back to your point, the guy that's training them over in Orlando is Edner Cherry.
Oh, that's Edner doing that?
Yeah. Yep. He
oh, wow.
He can't fight anymore. But I think the funniest story or fight I ever went to was my oldest grandson and I went to a fight. They had fight nights up at Tampa, and Edner was fighting, and we went up there, and this guy that he was going to fight comes out. He's from Texas. He must have been about 6'6". Now, Edner is only about 5'7", 5'8" at the most. And this guy came out here. He's giving this waving on and hit me in the chin. Come on, anytime. Edner hit him one time. And he went right. He hit the canvas and never got up.
Oh my God, man!
I would ask
I knew somebody was over there doing something, because Orlando's starting to make a name for MMA and for boxing both.
I would have asked for money back from that fight, but we got in there for free anyway. All right, now don't get upset. Don't get upset now, Caden. John Jones and all the papers that have come out the last week and a half say that John Jones consistently cheated. True or false?
True.
Okay.
I think when you define cheating, I think it's true. But when, in terms of does it discredit all he did, I don't think so. Because if you're using steroids against the guy who's using steroids, I don't think that's too bad. But if you're going out there and you're stomping on feet and doing all the dirty stuff that he did, I think that's where I define it at. He's a dirty fighter. Cheater, by definition, by law, yeah, sure. But you look at those fights, the guys he's fighting are juiced up too. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's that bad when you look at it like that. But in terms of him being a good guy outside of the octagon, I always say no. Well, I don't think the steroid allegations, at least the one against I don't think DC used steroids. I'll swear by that. I don't think DC ever used steroids. And I do think that John was using steroids against at least the first fight against DC. And obviously that's not okay. And he got busted for using steroids in that first fight against DC. And obviously they only found tiny nanograms in his blood. But it was there. So, man, again, I just, yes, but does it discredit what he did? In my eyes, no.
I tell you what, he looked small last night on TV.
He did. And you can tell, man, you look at the young John Jones, he was never a thick dude, right? But he was never flabby, you know? Like you look at him now and he's kind of flabby.
Okay.
But then again, I still think he's probably the most dangerous man on the planet, man. I think that he can go out there and beat up anybody. Obviously, I'm talking about prime John Jones. Right now, it's just a little different. But I think he definitely cheated his career for sure.
Okay. Tony, what do you think about Dubois calling Wardley out for trash talk and says he'll take him out in the first round?
Did Dubois say that to Wardley after the fight?
Yeah.
I don't know about first round, but he'll take him out. After that fight, if I were Wardley, I don't think I'd fight the guy again. Because I mean, Wardley's great, but I don't think he could beat Dubois. I just don't think he could do it. Rematch or 2 rematches, it don't matter.
Okay.
First round trash talk, nah, he won't do it in first round.
Okay. What do you think? Now, here we come with that. My favorite fighter again. Usyk told Wardley, "You beat Dubois, and then we'll talk about a contract." Can that happen? And if it does, who's going to walk out with a big paycheck?
It won't happen between Usyk and Wardley unless if he's taking on the winner of that fight.
Yeah.
No, it ain't gonna happen. But if Dubois were to take on Usyk, we might have a problem. Because I think Dubois could give Usyk a problem. Usyk, he's going to have to learn to get out of the way and move. If he doesn't have it, it doesn't work on it, he's going to get caught with one of those Dubois shots, and it's going to be over. But as far as him and Wardley, I don't think Wardley can beat Dubois to get there.
Okay. Keaton, Sean Brady always talks about growing up in a blue-collar environment and moving up. Now he's got he's fighting, or I should say he mauled Joaquin Buckley 2 weeks ago. What's your thoughts on that one?
You know what? You'll like a guy like Sean Brady. Not only did he grow up in a nice blue collar neighborhood, but that blue collar neighborhood was in Philadelphia, man. He's a Philly
That's right.
Fighting out Philly, I'm always going to root for him, especially in an unfavorable fight. I mean, he's had some unfavorable fights, and he didn't look too bad against Joaquin Buckley. I only watched highlights. I didn't watch the fight, so I can't say much on it. But He didn't look bad.
Mm-hmm.
So props to Sean Brady.
All right. Okay, Tony, Richard Torres, and Moses Atuma.
Ooh, that'll be a stinger too. But Atama, I think would pull this off.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say by knockout too.
Mm-hmm.
I think he could do it.
Okay, you sure now? I'm putting it down on my list here.
Yeah, I think I'll take a double header on that one.
This is I have the bakery list over here, and so far you're down for 2, and Caden's down for 2. So you guys are even up.
We could do double or nothing. He can eat my 2 and have 4. So how's that? I'm not gonna lose that one.
Okay, Caden, Joshua Van against Tatsuma Tavia.
That was that was a great fight, man. That was a great fight, and that made up for the whole night. And because after that you had Hamzat. It kind of that ruined my night. It was a good fight, but I was just glad we got to witness Joshua Van versus Tatsuo Taira fight. Potential fight of the year. What a comeback! You'll never see something like that. It was a double comeback. Joshua Van comes out in that first round, striking straight lightning, and he's putting Taira in so much. He's putting damage on Taira. He's putting hands on him throughout that entire first round. And Taira realizes what he needs to do. He can just get Van on the ground and control to win the fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
Comes down in the second, he does exactly that.
Mm-hmm.
He gets Van down, and one thing we've seen about Van is his excellent takedown defense, and it was on full display in that fight. But you just keep on hacking at it, you're eventually going to get one, and that's what happened. And Tatsuo Taira just completely changed the tides in the fight. And you look at after that first round, and you look at Taira, and you think, this is a dude who's going to get knocked out in the opening seconds of this second round.
Mm-hmm.
And what does he do? He comes out like the bat out of hell. He's tough as hell. This is the toughest dude in the UFC, one of the toughest dudes in the UFC right now.
Mm-hmm.
And he's punching full power, gets the takedown, controls the third, controls the second, controls the third round too. But man, comes in the championship round. That's Van's territory, man. He keeps it on the feet for the last 4 and 5 rounds, and just goes to work, man. He's just teeing off on Taira, and Tatsuo Taira, he's not a bad striker, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he's nowhere near Van's caliber. Like Tatsuo Taira, his bread and butter's on the ground, pulling guards, getting submissions. On the feet, he's not bad, but man, Van showed that he is pound for pound a top 3 striker in the UFC right now. He was just getting. It seemed like everything was landing, and after a while, you're wondering, how is Tatsuo Taira not on the floor? How is this going and not throwing in the towel? Like it was getting bad, but the dude just kept striking, kept moving forward. Definitely one of the toughest dudes in the UFC right now is Tatsuo Taira. But that was a great fight, man, and Van showed what a champion needs to show.
Mm-hmm.
The resilience, way to overcome a deficit. Man, it was a perfect fight for Van, really.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Tony, looks like the Benavidez and Bivol fight is stalled due to money. What's the story?
I had a feeling something would happen with that. They're just probably trying to hype it up a little bit, maybe give it some time. Both of them will probably have a fight in between and then try to build it up so everybody wants it and make some money. So it'll be a good fight. But as much as I love Bivol, I love Benavidez, but there's no way Bivol can beat Benavidez in a fight.
Okay. Okay, there's another confrontation on the horizon that's Holloway and Oliveira. They seem to be jawing back and forth at each other for just before 326. Is that going to affect anything, or do you think it'll draw a crowd? What's your thoughts?
No, they already fought that was both of their last fights. And surprisingly enough, against most of the odds, Charles Oliveira went in there and got it done. And that was pretty. Not only was it exciting to watch, but it was pretty surprising to see Oliveira go in there and get it done.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no way in hell Oliveira's getting in the way of McGregor Oliveira.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That could be a fight for them if Holloway wins against McGregor, which he probably will.
Okay. Tony, what about Brandon Lee and Kane Sandoval?
I thought that one was checked off. That wasn't going to happen.
That's what I'm asking. What happened?
I don't know. I don't really know what it was. I thought I heard one of them was injured, but I don't remember which one it was. I want to say Lee.
Yeah, I'm looking back now at the notes now. Lee hurt his hand, and they put the thing off until next year now.
I thought it was rotator cuff, but yeah, I knew it was something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Here's your last one, Tone. Moses Atuma has a mandatory with Dubois. What do you think?
Oh, I didn't know about that one, but I tell you what, that'll be a nice fight. But again, Dubois he's on fire. I mean, Atama is awesome, but I don't think he can take Dubois. I think that fight with Wardley did something mentally to Dubois. It built him up mentally. It's kind of like when my favorite fighter there, Haney took the beating from Ryan Garcia, and it messed him up. Did the opposite. It put him in some kind of state of mind that the next time he fought, which was a long time after he won the fight, it was horrible, and I still think he's horrible. But this is something a little bit different here. That Dubois fight against Wardley, against that big name and beating him the way he did, I don't think there's going to be any stopping him for a while.
Okay. And the last one goes to Caden. Doctors are saying that Jake Paul cannot return to the ring or the octagon because of his jaw problems. What do you think?
I think they'll find a way. There's definitely been so many jaw breaks in that sport. There's got to be a way. I think there's no way that. I mean, that would be one hell of a way to end his boxing career, I guess. But there's no way that his jaw break is that obsolete that he's one of the like a million that I've heard of that break their jaw, and there's no way they can come back. So I think he definitely can come back, and if he can't, then maybe it's an excuse. Who knows?
I thought they said something about 6 months or 3 months or something.
That's what I heard as well.
Yeah.
Maybe what you saw, Pops, is maybe he can't fight now.
Yeah, he definitely can't right now.
Yeah. I think he'll definitely be cleared though, and he'll fight somebody.
Okay, well, that brings us right up to our hour. Tony, thank you very much for all your help and your preparedness. Caden, you're always on top of everything. You're the walking, talking MMA, UFC encyclopedia as far as I'm concerned. So,
absolutely.
Tony, you want to lead us out?
Yeah, another great show. Caden, thank you for everything. I appreciate the backup and Mr. Pop. I'll call you Pops. I'm not going to call you Frank.
No problem.
Pops. Sorry, you Pops. Pops, love you like a brother from another. And if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here, and I appreciate it. I love the show. I love being here every Sunday night. And sorry about the little issue there earlier. I had a tow truck guy at my door, so I didn't know that quick. But
there you go.
Other than that, I hope yes, sir.
Okay.
Caden on the bike. Here delivers to Caden on the way up. So.
All right. There you go. Caden?
Oh, yeah. Tony, we always love having you on the show. One of my favorite people to talk to, especially on Saturday nights or Sunday nights now. But Pops, man, you run the soundboard like no other. You're the best host I could ask for, and the best grandfather I could ask for. Don't forget that. Man, y'all have a great night, an even better week. God bless. I'll see you on next Sunday.
All right, guys. Again,
I want to say one more thing too before you get on. Tell Brady we will all be thinking about him, and hopefully he has a speedy recovery. And if he needs anything, call.
Okie doke. Thanks for everything, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, these programs are brought to you each and every night of the week in grateful appreciation to the men and women of the United States Armed Forces, men and women police and fire services. When you're out there and you see somebody in uniform, please let them know you know they're there. These are very difficult times for men and women in uniform. These programs are dedicated to those who've lost their lives in the line of duty. Deputy Robert Anthony Carroll, Patrolman David Curtis, Patrolman Jeffrey Colcap, Patrolman Jeffrey Yazwitz, Sergeant Thomas Batinger, San Diego Officer Mike Hendler, Sergeant Tom Wilson, Charlotte County Sheriff's Department, Detective Randy Bell, Detective Ricky Childers, Patrolman Charlie Condit, Tarpon Springs Police Department, Chief Mike Godwin, Philadelphia Fire Department, Lieutenant Joyce Craig Lewis, Philadelphia Fire Department, Sergeant James O'Connor, Philadelphia Police Department, Sergeant Chris Levake, Hillsborough County Sheriff's Department, Lieutenant Mike Zerba, Newcastle County Police, Deputy Mike Myers, Nassau County Sheriff's Department, Patrolman Awful Crispin, Lakeland PD, Captain Matt Letourneau, Philadelphia Fire Department, Captain Chris Leach, Wilmington Fire Department, Lieutenant Ardith Hope, Wilmington Fire Department, Lieutenant Jeremy Fracas, Wilmington Fire Department, Chief Jimmy Ford, Wilmington Fire Department, Chief Al Hogle, Long Bouquet Police Department, Deputy Mike Hargrove, Pinellas County Sheriff's Department, Trooper Joe Bullock, Florida Highway Patrol, Trooper Chelsea Richards, Florida Highway Patrol, Trooper Zachary Ben, Florida Highway Patrol, Sergeant Chris Fitzgerald, Philadelphia Police Department, Sergeant Ramon Mendez, Philadelphia Police Department, Chief Corey Compantier, Buffalo Creek Fire Department, Deputy Ronnie Ronazinski, Manatee County Sheriff's Department, Patrolman Zachary Butterfield, Bradenton PD, and Corporal Timothy O'Connor, Pennsylvania State Police. My brothers and sisters, though, you may be 10-7 at this time. At some time, we'll be 10-10 at the table of the Lord. Until that time, may the roads rise up to meet you. May the winds be always at your back. May the rains fall softly on your fields, the sun shine lightly on your face. Until we meet again, may the good Lord keep you and your family always in the palm of his hands. Good night, God bless, and thank you for listening.